Stay savage, your boy Shane over intro. What's poppin'? So yesterday we got a new Boruto episode, and with new Boruto episodes, we get closer and closer to solving the mystery of Boruto's motherfucking dojutsu. Something that everybody is so interested in. Everybody wants to know what it is. You know, there's so many speculations. There's so many theories on the internet. People talking about the Tentagon, Byakugan mutation. I've said this on numbers of times. Probably so many that I cannot count on all these fingers I got right here. All 10 fingers. I cannot count it. So right now we're gonna talk about something Toneri said in the last episode. We're gonna talk about this prophecy, you know, the Star of Hope, which is Boruto's eye, and then he talks about the, you know, the comets being in the constellation and shit like that, and how there was 2 stars shown. You know, that could be representation for something else. So basically, I'm gonna give you guys a little theory, basically my personal thoughts and my personal opinions on, you know, what's gonna happen in the near future with Boruto and Kawaki. You know what I'm saying? So if you have your own little personal thoughts and personal opinions, and you have your own little theories that you would like to share with me, leave those in the comment section. If they're good enough, I'll make a video on them. So with that being said, if you guys are hyped about today's video, make sure you hit that like button, take that W, don't take the L. You gotta hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. Support is always greatly appreciated. Lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content. With that being said, let's get it.
Whipping all this dope up in the trap house. We fuck all you bitches at the trap house. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. It don't mean that be like Jerry Stacker. I might fall in love with my trap house.
So in this episode, we saw a lot of different things that shed some light on some shit. We saw a message from the late Toneri. Well, I wouldn't say late because he's not really dead. He's more on some exile shit to the moon, basically chilling there, atoning for his sins and everything he did wrong. You know what I'm saying? But we got Toneri at the beginning of the episode coming in, you know what I'm saying? So once I seen him, I was like, okay, so now we about to finally get a little bit of answers. It might not be the answers we want 100%, but you know, we about to have an insight on what the hell is going on with Boruto, what's going on with his eye. So later on, as the episode progresses, we see Boruto in the movie theaters. You know, he's kind of chilling, he's watching the movie, and it tells him like this eye, right? He talks about this evil eye, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, everybody's thinking the movie was representation of Boruto. They thought the movie was like, you know, projecting on Boruto, how Boruto was gonna be in the future, with his eye and shit like that. But the thing is, with this eye, it made me feel some kind of way, because this eye was red, right? And we know Boruto eye is blue, like a bluish, almost like a teal kind of, you know, it's like a really light blue. So that's one thing that made it very interesting for me to think about, because like if you think about it, if you see Boruto with the curse mark and he goes into his curse mark state, it glows a little blue and shit like that, and it covers up his eye and shit like that, and his eye goes blue and shit. You know, he gets like this blue flare that takes over him, right? But then in the movie, it like gave us like a subtle hint of another eye, like on some shit, because if you look at it, it's a red eye, right? Boruto eye is completely blue. You know, Toneri talked about the stars in the constellation, and when he talked about the comet coming into the constellation, they showed 2 stars, right? So most of the time when you see 2 stars bright as hell like that, is referring to of something. So if Boruto has the Star of Hope, which is his eye, and then there's like another star, what is the other star? Because we only know Boruto to have one eye in the future, one like weird, you know, eye that has like some type of power in the future. We know like that he gets that. We only see him with one eye. So obviously it's hinting at like, you know, there may be another eye. The fact that, you know, they talk about this other eye, which was an evil eye in the movie, could have been a subliminal message, basically letting us know, hey, be on the lookout for this other eye in the near future. You know what I'm saying? They probably told us something about the first eye just to let us know a little bit of something, but then later on they're gonna be dropping a bomb on us with another eye. And like another reason why I think there's another eye, because, you know, like Boruto's eye is blue and is referred to as the Star of Hope, you know what I'm saying? And he has that like bluish shroud that comes with his curse mark. If you look at Kawaki has like a reddish shroud. Like when Kawaki goes into his curse mark and it takes over his body, it goes into a red. And the thing is, we seen Kawaki ignite his stuff, but we never seen it fully like completely go up, because, you know, Boruto's going into his like eye and goes over his face. We didn't see Kawaki's go all the way up. You know, we seen Kawaki's like consume his arm and shit like that. Then it kind of switches over to Boruto, where we couldn't see too much of Kawaki. You know, we didn't see how it was, and then we saw Kawaki and Boruto clash. So basically, if they would have left it on Kawaki a little bit longer, I have some insight, you know, basically telling me that, you know, his eye is gonna like glow into a red, because what would be the purpose of him and Kawaki going into this big ass clash? What would be the purpose of them having this same type of curse mark? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's talking about Boruto later on gets a curse mark and shit like that. We do know he gets a curse seal from Momoshiki, which is something we do see in the manga, you know, and it's kind of taking place at the events after the movie and shit like that. But looking at like what they're putting on the table for us now, you know, what if Boruto eye is like the Star of Hope, and then Kawaki's eye is the Star of Destruction, basically hinting that Boruto's gonna be the one that have to stop Kawaki and shit like that. And now when I look at it, this is one is on a whole different playing field compared to how it was with Naruto and Sasuke, because Naruto and Sasuke was considered the Ashiras and the Indras, and, you know, the Sun and the Moon Seals. These two, you know, they basically was rivals and shit like that. They always fought against each other, or sometimes in life they worked together, you know, in peace. There was moments in history basically when the Indra and the Ashiras got along, and sometimes they didn't get along. In Naruto and Sasuke case, Naruto wanted them to get along, you know, eventually getting Sasuke to cooperate, and them two starting to become friends again. And, you know, Sasuke helping out the village through his own means, not being there, but he's still helping out the village. Now, the Eye of Destruction, this is what I feel like this is gonna be called the Star of Destruction, and then the Star of Hope. The Star of Destruction is the one that's supposed to bring out the devastation upon the leaf, which we saw in the earlier like scene, basically when Kawaki and Boruto are fighting, and he's talking about how it's the end of Shinobi, talking about how everything comes to pass and shit like that. And, you know, and then Boruto's gonna be the Star of Hope, that's supposed to be the one that stops him, you know, supposed to be the person that unites the village, unites the world and shit, kind of like Naruto did with the 4th Great Ninja War, and pull everybody back together. Now, this kind of reminds me of the Child of Prophecy on some shit. Like, you know, basically Jiraiya and Minato, you know, they all talked about the Child of Prophecy, and Jiraiya thought that the Child of Prophecy was Minato Namikaze and shit like that. Then Minato, you know, he basically passed on that title to my boy Naruto, because he was like, obviously I can't be the Child of Prophecy if I didn't live that long. And then the thing is, you know, Naruto, obviously he united the world, he united the ninja world, he got everybody to cooperate with each other, got everybody to be on like the same page. Everybody's no longer in their little moments or in their little ruts. Nobody has like a lot of confusion with each other. I mean, they still have these little bandit camps and like these little rogue groups that, you know, doing things for their own personal gain, but like most of the village cooperate with each other. If you look at all the Kages, you know, they're all on a friendly basis, they're all on a first name basis at the same time, you know, they all get along very well. They're basically on some chill kiki type shit, you know what I'm saying, like let's be friends, kumbaya, my lord. But if you think about it, what if this like goes all the way up into Boruto? What if Boruto is actually the Child of Prophecy? Because if you think about it, my boy Toneri came from the moon, right? Toneri obviously had visions, and, you know, he had to deliver the visions and deliver the message to Boruto, you know, after he realized, you know, everything he was doing against the world was wrong. Everything he realized, everything he was doing was not right, you know what I'm saying? He probably thought to himself, yo, what is a perfect way I can help the village? And then maybe he had a vision one day talking about the stars and talking about the comet, and, you know, something that could happen like every 1,000 years, because you guys know in real life when comets pass, every 1,000 years a comet pass or some shit like that, or every so many years a solar eclipse happens like that. What if these two stars are in the constellation, and, you know, they start come out of nowhere, and then the comet passes them, enhancing their power or something like that, and that's how the child is chosen or something like that. And Boruto just happened to be born in that year, and he met the requirements of the Child of Prophecy. What if Boruto becomes the new Child of Prophecy? What if he becomes what Naruto thought he was, what everybody anticipated Naruto being? And what if all of that just comes back into Boruto? Because if you think about it, if Boruto is chosen by the stars, you know, Naruto was chosen by fate, but Boruto is being chosen by the stars, you know, because it talks about the Star of Hope, his eye being the Star of Hope. And now what if Kawaki's eye is the Star of Destruction? If he's being completely like 100% chosen by the stars to go out and protect the world and be the hope for the world and shit like that, then this is an ultimate prophecy. Like, this is more of a prophecy than Naruto shit. You know, Naruto, that was his fate. His fate was tied in between the Indra and the Ashura, because that's what they were. You know, they were always destined to clash. You know, they was always destined to bounce back and forth against each other. You know, that shit just kind of got twisted sometimes when, you know, Madara, Obito, they all stepped in and they tried to like change things into different manners. Then Kaguya came back, so, you know, the fate kind of had a little swirly going on. You know, you give a kid a swirly and that baby spinning. That's how fate was going for Naruto and Sasuke, where they eventually had their moments when they clash, but then their fate like just went a different path, you know. But this shit with Boruto and Kawaki, it seems like it's written in the stars. And for Toneri to leave the moon, like he deadass left the moon and went from the moon into Boruto's dreams just to relay this message, you know, it had to be on some other shit. And then another thing that kind of worries me, like everybody talks about how Toneri was exiled to the moon and stuff like that, and how he went to the moon just for the sole purpose of like staying there and trying to stay away. But in the beginning of the episode, we saw Toneri looking at the moon as if he wasn't on the moon, which I thought was pretty interesting, because I was like, wait, if Toneri is exiled to the moon, then why is he looking at the moon in this episode? You know what I'm saying? Is he back on Earth? Did he come to Earth, you know, to deliver a message, or is he on Earth to like, you know, put the pieces together for this prophecy to come through? You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot of different things that are about to unfold in Boruto, you know, because Boruto currently under the impression that he has a Byakugan, but the Star of Hope seems like is a lot further, a lot more enhanced than the Byakugan. And if you kind of look at it now that I'm looking at it more, I do see a lot of resemblance to the Tensegan, but the thing is, you know, we don't know if it's a Tensegan, and it's kind of crazy, you know, because we seen Naruto, you know, have a lot of connections to the Utsuzukis and shit like that, but we are really looking at Boruto and we seen more ties to the Utsuzukis early on than we've seen in Naruto. You know, we didn't start seeing Utsuzukis until like the end of Naruto, you know, the Great Ninja War. That's when we start finding out about the Sage of Six Paths. We start finding out about the history and shit like that. Right now, they are opening the door. They're setting up Boruto to be one of the most powerful ninjas in history. I know a lot of people like to argue and talk about how strong Naruto is compared to Boruto, and talk about, you know, Naruto had to go through a lot and Boruto will never excel to be that way. But if you look at the way they're setting up Boruto already, I'm talking about 13 chapters into the manga, this man gets a seal from Momoshiki, similar to how Naruto and Sasuke got in Naruto Shippuden towards the end of the show, you know what I'm saying? So he gets this in the first 13 chapters, plus he has this weird eye that's appearing in the anime. Then Toneri comes down to talk to him about the Star of Hope and talk about how he's the child of prophecy and shit like that. So like, this man is on some next level shit. Like, they're panning Boruto out to be one of the most powerful ninjas to ever exist. On top of, you know, they hint at in the movie, you know, they talk about the evil eye and shit like that. That's one thing that really bugged me, because it was like, well, if this is an evil eye, you know, the evil eye protects the world from the shadows, you know, how's that associated with Boruto? Because Boruto is not really like that, you know, Boruto's not really evil, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, Boruto don't really protect the world from the shadows. Everything we've seen Boruto do to protect his friends have been out in the open. It's been abroad. It's been like out there, you know what I'm saying? That's more like on some Sasuke shit, I guess. Maybe Itachi shit, more or less. You know, I felt like that was like a hint at like old Itachi, because Itachi was that guy that protected history throughout the shadows and shit like that. And I feel like at some point maybe Kawaki will step into play, or Kawaki will tell Boruto, you know, we can protect the village from the shadows, that which leads Boruto to going rogue and saying fuck the village, but he'll still continue to help the village in his own right, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, you see Boruto have that like slash cut out through his headband and shit like that, and you know, that's how him and Kawaki start to become closer friends. But I feel like there's another eye. I feel like there's a second eye. This is going to be an eye that's connecting Boruto to Kawaki, you know what I'm saying? This is going to be a thing that connects them two to each other and start to manifest the true meaning of their fight and the true reason why they're fighting. Because when they start showing the stars, you know, and they start talking about the comment, we see 2 stars, you know, 2 stars representation of 2 eyes. It's kind of like some twin star X's and shit, you know, the stars are prophecies. Then they talk about the Star of Hope. So obviously if there's 2 stars that are being shown while the comet is passing, there's a Star of Hope, and obviously there's going to be a Star of Destruction. They're probably hinting at it by calling it the evil eye right now, but I think there's going to be a Star of Hope and a Star of Destruction. Let me know how you feel about this theory. Let me know how you feel about everything I'm saying. You know, this is a theory, you know, it may or may not happen, but it's really dope to think about, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously, you know, there got to be some other shit going on. It can't just be Boruto having 1 eye. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about what I've said in this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. Let me know you're enjoying the content. And you know, if you're new to the channel, subscribe for daily content. And with that being said, my name is Shino Bentro. Stay true and stay real. Hope you guys have a blessed day, and until next time, see you guys later. Bye.